On the news tonight, President Bola Tinubu reshuffles ministers, scraps 2 ministries, merges regional commissions. Senate calls for national summit to address growing concerns of out-of-school children across the country. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu charges state executives to leverage on technology and data in project management to transform governance. On the foreign scene, attack on aerospace firm near Ankara, Turkey, leaves 4 dead. We'll bring you details in a moment. We thank you for joining us. I am Tinuke Oloruntoyin Folami. President Bola Tinubu has approved the immediate implementation of 8 far-reaching actions to rejuvenate the administration's capacity for optimal efficiency. The 8 actions approved include, among others, the reassignment of 10 ministers to new ministerial portfolios, the discharge of 5 ministers, and the nomination of 7 new ministers for onward transmission to the Senate for confirmation. Special Advisor on Information and Strategy Bayo Ononuga, who addressed State House correspondents, also announced the appointment of Shehu Diko as chairman of the National Sports Commission and Sunday Akindari as Special Advisor to the President on Public Communication and Orientation.
Appointment of former Minister Sunday Akindari as Special Advisor to the President on Public Communication and Orientation, working for the Ministry of Information and National Orientation. Now, I will give you the list of ministers who have been reassigned to new portfolios. They are as follows. Honorable Dr. Yusuf Tanko Sununu, Minister of State Education as of now, is now the Minister of State, Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction. Dr. Morufu Olatunji Alausa, who is currently Minister of State for Health, is now the Minister for Education. Barrister Bello Mohammed Guronyo, who is Minister of State, Water, Resources and Sanitation, is now going to be Minister of State Works. Minister of State Works. Honorable Abubakar Eshokweka Momo, who is now the Minister of Niger Delta Development, is now the Minister of Regional Development.
The 5 discharged ministers are Uju Ken Ohaneye, Minister of Women Affairs, Lola Adejon, Minister of Tourism, Professor Tahir Maman, Minister of Education, Abdullahi Muhammad Gwazo, Minister of State, Housing and Urban Development, and Dr. Jamila Bio Ibrahim, Minister of Youth Development. Meanwhile, President Tinubu charged the newly appointed ministers as well as their reassigned colleagues to see their appointment as a call to service. He said all appointees must understand the administration's eagerness and determination to set Nigeria on the path to irreversible growth and put in their best for the actualization of government's plans and policies. Meanwhile, the Federal Executive Council has scrapped the Ministry of Niger Delta and the Ministry of Sports Development. Briefing State House correspondents after the FEC meeting presided over by President Bola Tinubu, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, and Minister of Niger Delta, Abubakar Maman, explained that there will now be a Ministry of Regional Development to oversee all the regional development commissions recently passed into law by the National Parliament. Such commissions include Niger Delta Development Commission, Northwest Development Commission, Southwest Development Commission, and Northeast Development Commission. The National Sports Commission will take over the role of the Ministry of Sport. FEC also approved the merger of the Ministry of Tourism with the Ministry of Culture and Creative Economy. Details of the alignment and what happens to the affected federal ministers will be made known in the coming days. In the meantime, President Bola Tinubu has directed related agencies to ensure the conversion of major petrol stations into gas stations for easy access to compressed natural gas (CNG) and to serve as conversion centers. Minister of State for Gas Resources Ekperipe Epo announced this as part of the resolutions reached at the Federal Executive Council meeting. The minister further allays fears being expressed in some quarters over the scarcity of natural gas in the country. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Oil, Henneken Lukobiri, also hinted that his ministry sought and got approval for the Petroleum Technology Development Fund, STEM projects towards building a sustainable technological base for country in the major science subjects in secondary schools. Now, the People's Democratic Party PDP Governors Forum has rescheduled its National Executive Council Committee NEC meeting for November 28, 2024. The decision was reached following the consultative meeting of its various organs at the Oyo State Governors Lodge at Suru. A communique issued and signed by the chairman PDP Governors Forum and Governor of Oyo State, Senator Bala Mohammed, says the meeting, originally scheduled for October 24, 2024, was postponed to ensure that the party goes into the forthcoming Ondo gubernatorial elections scheduled for November 16 with the unity and strength demanded. The meeting also sought an end to disunity among members. The meeting was attended by the PDP Governors Forum, its Board of Trustees, National Working Committee, National Assembly leadership of the PDP caucus, and Forum of former governors of the party. The meeting comes in the wake of an internal crisis currently rocking the party. Recall that the PDP acting national chairman, Umar Damagum, and national secretary, Senator Samuel Anyanwu, had suspended the party's national publicity secretary, Debo Olugwagba, and national legal advisor, Ajibade. In response, Olugwagba and Ajibade suspended Damagum and Anyanwu, leading to a stalemate, which was broken by the PDP Governors Forum. Now, Oyo State High Court has scheduled November 20 for the hearing of all pending applications in the ongoing case of alleged bribery and misappropriation of public funds against the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Abdullahi Ganduje, and 7 others. Ganduje, his wife Hafsat Umar, Abubakar Bawuru, Umar Abdullahi Umar, Jibrila Muhammad, and 3 corporate entities are facing an 8-count charge filed by the state government. The charges involved alleged bribery, misappropriation, and the diversion of public funds amounting to billions of naira. During the proceedings, the court was scheduled to hear a preliminary objection from the 6th defendant. Counsel for the plaintiff, Adiola Dedipe, informed the court of their readiness to proceed, noting that a witness had traveled from Lagos to attend the hearing. However, counsel for the first, second, and 4th defendant, Ofyong, stated that they had not been served the necessary documents, including the plaintiff's counter affidavit and the preliminary objection. He requested an adjournment to allow time to review the filings. The judge adjourned the case until November 20 for the hearing of all pending applications. The Enugu Zonal Directorate of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has arraigned one Blessing Amaka David Agua, a fake fertility nurse, before Justice Mohammed Garba Umar of the Federal High Court sitting in Independence Layout, Enugu State. The defendant was arraigned on 45-count charges bordering on alleged fraudulent impersonation, forgery, and obtaining by false pretense to the tune of 28.278 million naira. The defendant pleaded not guilty to all counts when they were read to her. In view of her pleas, counsel to the EFCC, Blessing N. Obase, praised the court for a trial date and for the defendant to be remanded at the Enugu State Correctional Facility. However, defense counsel J.C. Madubegu informed the court about a pending motion on notice for bail dated October 4, 2024, and filed on the same date. After moving the said application, he prayed the court to grant the defendant bail on liberal terms. Obasi vehemently opposed the application for bail on the grounds that the allegations against the defendant was a weighty one, citing the mental health of the defendant's victims. After listening to both sides, Justice Umar adjourned the matter till November 12, 2024, for a ruling on the bail application. Here in Lagos, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has urged the judiciary to ensure prompt delivery of justice. He made this known at a strategic management meeting with ministries, departments, and agencies. Correspondent Olubukola Akin-Kolyosho has the details.
No government can function without the three arms of government in place. Hence, each of them must be strategic in their running. At this strategic management meeting with ministries, departments, and agencies, and also stakeholders in Lagos State, the aim is for the judiciary to take deliberate steps to ensure seamless service delivery and good governance. The Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in Lagos, Lawal Pedro, states that though Lagos State government remains committed to the rule of law, accountability, and governance, however, delivering justice is not the responsibility of a single institution.
The focus of this meeting includes developing a process to enhance coordination between law enforcement agencies and the Ministry of Justice in Lagos State, particularly in the area of prosecution of state offenses, where security agencies are deemed to have general fiat of the Attorney General of the states. It is also to reassure the security agencies of the Lagos State Ministry of Justice and Lagos State government full support and cooperation in the fight against corruption, but with the recognition of the Attorney General's constitutional responsibility to safeguard the people of Lagos State from oppression, prejudiced action in the guise of prosecution.
Lagos State Governor, who is represented by his deputy, Dr. Obafemi Amzat, while declaring the meeting open, calls for the prompt dispensation of justice by the judiciary. Citing the case of 22-year-old fashion designer Ms. Oluwabamiche Anyonwole, who was allegedly raped and murdered, Amzat wondered why the case is still ongoing.
The question I'd like to ask our lawyers and our judges is, why does cases take this long? So, for example, that lady that was raped, kidnapped, killed in our bus, I just saw on TV last night. The case is just coming. It's almost 1.5 years. The parents will not believe it. What are you people doing? What is the problem?
He calls for collaborative efforts between all stakeholders for effective and efficient justice system.
The difference between us and the so-called developed world or developed countries, for me, are two things: the rule of law, science and technology. And it's becoming interesting that even the rule of law is becoming a subset of technology and science.
This stakeholders meeting hopes to be impactful and have actionable outcomes for a more responsive, inclusive and efficient justice system for the benefit of all residents in Lagos State. Olubukola Akin-Kolyosho, LTV News.
Leveraging on technology and data in project management is in an era where digital tools and data-driven insight at transforming governance will help enhance prompt delivery. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, represented by his deputy Obafemi Hamzat, stated this during a 4-day workshop on project management. Again, Olubukola Akinkolyosho reports.
Members of the State Executive Council converged for the 4-day workshop on mastering effective project management strategies for success. The workshop has had public servants, selected permanent secretaries and heads of agencies in Lagos go through trainings on the 4 critical cycles, which includes the project cycle, the procurement cycle, the budget cycle and the payment cycle, and to also answer the question if projects executed will outlive them. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, represented by his deputy, Dr. Obafemi Hamzat, says a lot of ambitious targets have been set across every sector of the economy. But beyond this, achieving these targets requires not just passion, but a disciplined approach to project management.
Project management is not, for this administration at least, it's not just a technical formality. It must be the backbone of effective governance. The project that we shape, either big or small, are tangible outcomes of our policies. So when projects are delivered on time, within budget, and to the highest standard, they enforce our credibility, strengthen public trust, and accelerate the transformation of our state.
He also believes that infusing technology will help in fast-tracking projects.
I know that we've made significant progress in our state, but there's always room for improvement as we deepen our understanding of effective project management. We're equipping ourselves to be more agile, more innovative, and more accountable.
The need to improve and harmonize the regulatory, compliance and project monitoring activities, particularly in relation to contractors executing projects and Lagosians as key stakeholders, is imperative.
We can streamline operations, enhance accountability, and deliver a consistent experience that reflects the government's commitment to efficiency, transparency, and the well-being of its citizens. This alignment will strengthen public trust and foster a positive perception of the government's work across all sectors.
The partners, Project Management Institute Global, believes that if these trainings, which are applicable to Lagos State, is adhered to, the success story of the state will be overwhelming.
We believe in that with this arrangement and memorandum of understanding, outcomes in Lagos State projects would be better and something that would be very helpful to the end users. Very hopeful there's going to be success on the way. There is. The future is bright for Lagos State, and we know things are going to really change dramatically here in Lagos State.
The goal of this workshop on effective project management is to ensure that the government is perceived as a unified organization with a human-centered approach. Olubukola Akinkolyosho, LTV News.
The Senior Special Advisor to the Lagos State Governor on Health, Dr. Oluwatoyin Adeyemi, has affirmed the state government's commitment to ensuring no one is left behind in accessing quality health care. Dr. Adeyemi gave the assurance at the Ikorodu Health Expo, a medical outreach to orientate residents on health concerns. Ikorodu Bureau Chief Adeshegun Igor reports.
A healthy population makes important contributions to economic progress. However, providing quality health services results in high productivity. Residents of Ikorodu have benefited from the Ikorodu Health Expo, organized by Ikorodu Students Association. And idea the Senior Special Advisor to Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu on Health, Dr. Tony Adeyemi, described as complementing government's efforts in ensuring access to quality health care.
Lagos State is very much committed to ensure that residents are healthy and that they have access to quality health care. I'm sure you are all aware that we have the Ilera Eco, which is now mandatory. So what this does is ensures that even if you don't have money, as long as you're subscribed to the insurance scheme, you can access care at our private, at our public hospitals, primary, secondary, and tertiary level. Okay, I think it's a very laudable initiative. I must commend Ikorodu Students Association for being community conscious, because this is a give back to the community.
Health Expo is a way for us to be conscious about our health. Looking at the fact that as a student body, we've always been focusing on academics and other extracurricular activities. We neglect our health so much that, it is until when we are down, that's the time we remember that, oh, this particular part is, is hurting us. That's the time we start treating ourselves. So it's just a way for us to create a conscious health, system for our dear students and our young people.
Dietitians, physiotherapists, and other medical experts, including the medical director of the General Hospital Ikorodu, Dr. Taiwo Azan, enlightened residents on basic health needs.
General Hospital Ikorodu is a secondary health facility, but still we are a community-based hospital, and we need to give back to the society. Health is wealth, and whatever is detected early, you can always have a solution and nip it in bud. So when they have health challenges, it is not for them to go to a faith-based organization. They should come to a health facility.
A number of them abuse several things. Those that are known to us and those that are not known to us. That is why it is our responsibility to ensure that we advise them, we encourage them to shun drug abuse, because apart from the medical effect, the social effect, the mental effect, everything is there.
We need every of these classes of nutrients. I need carbohydrates for my brain, for my body, aid digestion and do all of that. So all of these are needed. Nothing is to be taken out, but in moderacy.
The Health Expo provided residents the opportunity to benefit from free checkups and treatment, including blood sugar and blood pressure checks, HIV counseling and testing, eye examinations, and free glasses.
Awareness goes a long way. So this particular environment now, it has given a lot of people awareness about how they are supposed to take care of their health, the first aid, strategy before they can, go ahead to do bigger things. I would still like to reiterate on the effort of Mr. Governor for ensuring that all those things have been adequate, to several hospitals in different parts of Lagos.
The initiative reflects the youth's strategic direction and significant contribution to the state's development, ensuring that residents receive medical care and are aware of their health concerns. Adeshegun Igop, LTV News.
You're still watching the news at 8 on Lagos Television. Still ahead. Senate calls for national summit to address growing concerns of out-of-school children across the country. That's in a moment. Stay with us. We thank you for staying tuned. The federal government has announced its plans to reposition dams across the country, revealing that siltation has significantly reduced the water volume in the Ogwashi-Uku Dam, Delta State. Deputy Director and Geotechnical Divisional Head, Dams Department, Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation, Abiola Oluwatosin, disclosed this during an inspection of the Ogwashi-Uku Dam in Anyocha South local government area. Oluwatosin, who led the technical subcommittee of the Presidential Interministerial Technical Committee on the evaluation of dams, assured that findings from the assessment would guide a robust action plan to address the challenges affecting dam infrastructure nationwide. According to her, President Bola Tinubu constituted the committee following the recent flooding incident in Maiduguri, Borno State. The committee is tasked with the responsibility of evaluating the integrity of dams across Nigeria. The Senate has expressed readiness to convene a national summit to address the critical issue of out-of-school children, currently estimated at 20 million. This resolution was reached during plenary following the consideration of a report presented by the chairman, Senate Committee on Education, Usman Adamu. Senator Adamu highlighted the urgent need for effective strategies to tackle the crisis of out-of-school children in Nigeria.
Crisis facing our educational system is at the core of insecurity, is at the core of leadership failure, is at the core of a lot of issues affecting the development of this country. And one of the most important contributions this Senate can make in our national development efforts is to ensure that we get to the root of this.
This is clearly the future of Nigeria, and I pray that through the National Summit, the resolutions will be implemented, issues will be well highlighted, and then all efforts will be made to bring this menace to an end so that our children can have a better future and not an adulthood in banditry, an adulthood in Boko Haram, an adulthood in fraud.
Senators Sonny Musa, Yake Dixon and Adiola Solomon described the issue as embarrassing and stressed the need for a holistic approach.
We provide certain parts of the fund, while the state government will complement. But we have billions of naira lying fallow at the universal basic education, with the state unable to come up with their own counterpart funding to address all these menace we have under the out-of-school children. They cannot come up with the fund. And the federal government every year, because universal basic education in the budgetary allocation is on a first-line charge. It's a first-line charge item. So the federal government is providing their fund, but the subnationals are not coming up with their own counterpart funding, which is a problem.
There is urgent need to hit the ground and activate the roadmap of the federal government on curtail the out-of-school children. No tangible action has been taken by the ministry considering the out-of-school children since 2024, notwithstanding its relevance. There is no reliable data to date on the out-of-school children. This deserves urgent attention to tackle the menace.
Following the adoption of the report, the Senate President Godswill Akpabio expressed concerns over the disturbing cases of out-of-school children in the country. Meanwhile, the date for the National Stakeholders Summit to address the critical issue of out-of-school children is yet to be fixed. Female lawyers have appealed to traditional rulers to support government and other key players in the fight against gender-based violence. This was echoed at an engagement with community leaders on their roles in putting an end to the menace in the society. Maugbe Josu reports.
Sexual and gender-based violence has become a menace in the society, with women and girls identified as most vulnerable victims of such acts. Taking a step towards curbing SGBV, the Lagos State government, in collaboration with International Federation of Women Lawyers, Nigeria, organized a 2-day dialogue with State Council of Cultural and Traditional Leaders on preventing violence against women and girls.
Over the years, victims of gender-based violence have been kept quiet, not just by quieting them physically, but by the disposition carried by many when victims come out to report the violence they undergo or have undergone as victims of gender-based violence.
We train people in the communities so that they are empowered by knowledge of the law, knowledge of the rights. You know, we bring up issues that are wrong in our society, whether culturally, whether based on practices, traditional practices, even laws that are obnoxious. We bring those things out, we speak and engage, and then we give backbone to people in the communities, encouraging them to know what their rights are, encouraging them to understand what the laws are.
Cultural and traditional leaders are very, very key in this process. They are influential, they have the hearings of the people, they can listen, the people can listen to them, and they are custodians of culture. And so using their influence to prevent gender-based violence is instrumental, in preventing gender-based violence or preventing GBV occurrences in their communities.
The interactive session laid emphasis on sexual, physical, emotional, and psychological violence and other harmful traditional practices.
Well, what I can say, we need the help from even the local government. I'm not even talking about the state. They'll be supporting the head of the community as ballet. In a program like one or two things we want to do, if you call them, they should at least try and help for us and support us.
We need to prevent it at the grassroots. It's just like politicians who start politics, they have to go to the brass so that people will know you. The same way we're trying to catch them from the grassroots. Talk to the traditional rulers, tell them about gender-based, sensitize them about all these things. It's not only when you beat a woman and whatever that you carry out violence against women. There are so many other harmful traditional practices against women.
At the end of this dialogue, it is expected that these traditional rulers will serve as change agents that will promote the rights of women and girls in their communities. Malgbejasu, LTV News.
The Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria Week, Lagos State Chapter, has kicked off with a sensitization walk. Tagged Walk Against Bullying in the Workplace, the sensitization walk raises awareness on the dangers of bullying and its direct impact on the society.
Bullying is not part of our culture at all. It's not part of our heritage. But because of social media and the new technology in town now, cyberbullying, workplace bullying is very rampant. And today we are out to walk against bullying in the workplace, on social media, and wherever we find ourselves.
Walk from the State House of Assembly to the Lagos State House of Assembly Commission is an opportunity to condemn all forms of bullying in school, workplace, home, among peers and the internet, with the Assembly Commission reiterating commitment to staff welfare.
The theme of the walk is bullying in the workplace. So the commission will also not encourage anybody to bully any of the staff. And like I said, they have our backing. Whoever is bullied, they can always report, and we can assure them that they will always get justice for that.
The walk is part of activities lined up to celebrate 2024 Person Week with the theme, Honoring Our Heritage, Embracing Our Future. Now, residents of Surulere have been enjoined to continually be good ambassadors of the community as plans are in top gear to celebrate 2024 Surulere Day. Chairman of Surulere Local Government, Sulaiman Yusuf, made the appeal at a media briefing ahead of the celebration. Ayola Adelisi tells us more.
To celebrate the growth and peaceful coexistence amongst Surulere residents, the 2024 Surulere Day is aimed at showcasing talent and how far the community has grown since its inception. Speaking at the press conference on official unveiling of the 2024 Surulere Day with the theme Surulere, the New Lagos, Chairman Planning Committee Tayo Gbajabiamila and other members highlighted series of events lined up for the day.
It's going to be of a lot of benefits to everybody in Surulere, as people who have stores here are going to come to the stadium from the first day to the 5th to sell their wares. If they were in their stores, they wouldn't have got as many people as they're going to have, because they're going to have people from the diaspora coming to all the functions, even at the carnival. So it's going to be of a huge economical benefit to all Surulereans.
People, the first day we are having the symposium taking place at the Indoor Sports Hall, Teslim Balogun Stadium on the 10th. And on that very day, we are also having our trade fair, where you come by and you have a discount for you. So you can as well tell everybody to get their market ready for that period.
Chairman Surulere Local Government Area, Sulaiman Yusuf, in his remarks, gave a brief history of Surulere and the benefits of 2024 Surulere Day.
Surulere meaning patience is rewarding. What began as a small middle-class resident then has strived to become one of the most sophisticated areas in Lagos State and in Nigeria as a whole. Its central location makes it a significant hub for commerce, entertainment, and sports residential activities.
We have so many people who have been successful in Nigeria today that have passed through Surulere. We know this will go through the public media. We are asking that when you see this, please, if you know you came through here, I don't want to call names so it doesn't look like I'm trolling, but we honor ourselves. Please come out and let's make this wonderful, epic, and epoch-making event. Indeed, to the benefit of mankind. Amen. Declare Surulere Day.
Hello, madam.
Okay.
Scheduled to take place from December 10 to 15, Surulere Day celebration is said to be one of the biggest festivals in Nigeria. Ayola Adelesi, LTV News.
The pre-colonial and post-colonial evolution of Nigeria's railway system has come a long way since its establishment in the Nigeria Railway compound in Alagumeji in the 90s. In this report, correspondent Omowumi Okeowu visited one of the buildings where this history is being retold, and she filed in this report.
At the railway compound in Ebute Metta, where railway train complex is said to have started in 1898, one still gets to see the solid foundation laid over a century ago, and on which some of the current structures are now built. As new structures are facing out the old, some old items are left and kept as artifacts, a reminder of where we are coming from as a country. This is Jakel House, located in the Nigeria Railway compound in Ebute Metta, Lagos. The house is named after a former general manager of the Nigeria Railway Corporation, Francis Jakel. The house now stands as a museum to show Nigerians the history of how trains used to run in the 80s and the 90s.
The house was built in 1898. It's 125 years this year. And the reason why this house is still standing is because it was built with a very solid concrete wall. When I say very solid, solid underlined, of which even a bullet cannot easily go in. That's why this building is still standing. And I'm even assuring that everybody that comes here that this building, apart from is 125 years this year, this building can still stand for another 100 plus years to come. So, but we have, let's say, like 65% of wooden, because the floor is made with wood, or the ceilings are made with wood, windows, all wood. So almost 65% of this house is made with wood.
Nigeria's history, pre-colonial, post-colonial, and the history of what is now regarded as the modern railway Nigeria now enjoys has a home in this premises.
When I went like this, then it will be ringing at the other station. Then person will pick the line. After picking the line, then I will inform him that I have a train that is coming from my station A through your station B. Is it okay? If he says okay, then he drops this there. Then he has to press this there, then myself. We must press together so that the machine can release the key.
The railway heritage is not only preserved in the house, some are still evident on these railway tracks.
We have what we call pump trolley. Pump trolley is an object of usage in those days. What they use them for is when you have derailment on the rail track, the engineers, who are mostly Europeans, two of them will sit at the front, while Nigerians, who are always four, they will be behind, pumping the machine. That's why it is called pumping machine. And of course, when you look through, you see that pumping machine, you need energy to do it. And of course, in those days, in some locations, society, they have a name for it. In Yoruba land, they call it Olomokuya.
Another historic building of note is this house, which has been used to buttress pre-colonial movie scenes on movies like Oloture and Kule Afolayan's October 1.
The Railway Museum is one of the 10th or 11th in Africa. And we ought to be very proud of people who actually came around to turn this place into a museum. And of course, like we had discussed, the railway never had intention of turning this place into a museum. But our founding father and some other groups of people who are knowledgeable brought about the issue of this place being turned into a railway museum.
With various calls for government to re-include history in schools' curriculum, these historians believe that this will further help the nation foster more development in the sector. Omaumi Okewo, LTV News.
Coming up, House of Representatives orders investigation of frequent collapse of national grid. That's in business news. Stay with us. On business news tonight, the federal government has dropped all charges against an executive at Binance Holdings, Tigran Gambaryan, on health grounds. A counsel for the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) announced the withdrawal of the charges at the Federal High Court, Abuja, before Justice Emeka Nwite. The hearing is coming 2 days before the October 25 earlier scheduled as the return date by the trial judge in the open court. Announcing the withdrawal of the charges, the EFCC lawyer said Gambaryan, a United States citizen, was merely an employee of Binance, whose activities he was being prosecuted for. Counsel to Gambaryan, Mark Modi, agreed with the prosecution, saying that his client was not involved in the company's broader financial decisions. Recall that Gambaryan has been facing money laundering trial from detention since April 2024. The House of Representatives has directed its Committee on Power to investigate the frequent national grid collapses and to provide a report within 3 weeks. This decision followed a motion of urgent national importance raised by Honorable Mansur Manu Suru, Bauchi PDP, during the plenary. In his motion, Soro expressed deep concerns over the persistent grid failures which have plunged the country into blackouts, worsening the economic challenges already being faced by Nigerians. He stressed that a stable power supply is essential for driving economic growth and development in any nation. Soro noted that the national grid had collapsed 8 times in 2024 alone, which is alarming. He highlighted that states in the northwest and northeast regions have been left in darkness due to the ongoing power sector crisis, urging the Transmission Company of Nigeria to restore electricity to the affected areas. Soro also pointed out that these grid collapses are occurring even as the Minister of Power assures the public of improved electricity supply, a promise that led to the government's approval of increased electricity tariffs for Band A customers. The Dangote Petroleum Refinery has received 4 cargoes of crude oil from the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited under the Naira for Crude Sale Agreement. The program started with the Dangote Refinery as the only petrol-producing facility in Nigeria at the moment. These 4 cargoes of crude were delivered to the refinery within the past 3 weeks when the government kick-started the sale of crude to local refineries in the local currency. It also stated that the $20 billion Lekki-based plant is now set to begin the direct sale of refined premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, to domestic dealers. Reports say the first phase of the Naira crude sale agreement would last for 6 months unless it is reviewed by the federal government. And that's it on business news. We now leave you with tradings on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange.
Coming quickly on the heels of the just concluded Women's Premier Basketball League, the Nigeria Basketball Federation has announced the commencement dates for the highly anticipated 2024 NBBF Men's Premier Basketball League season, with 16 clubs competing in both Atlantic and Savannah conferences. The Savannah Conference will take place in Plateau State from October 25 to November 3 inside the Rayfield Indoor Gym in Jos, while the Atlantic Conference will be held at the Indoor Sports Hall of the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium, Benin City, Edo State, during the same period. In the Atlantic Conference, there will be the defending champions, Rivers Opals of Port Harcourt, that went ahead to finish third at the last edition of the Basketball Africa League. Others in the conference include Kwara Falcons of Ilorin, Ebon Comets of Lagos, Oops and Raid of Lagos, Police Baton of Lagos, Lagos Legends, Oluyole Warriors of Oyo State, and Delta Force of Delta State. Teams vying for honors in the Savannah Conference are Nigeria Customs of Abuja, Nile University of Abuja, Kano Pillars of Kano, and Bauchi Nets of Bauchi State. Others are Boko City Chiefs of Benue, Gombe Bulls of Gombe State, Correctional Basketball Club of Abuja, and Plateau Peaks of Jos. 4 teams are expected to qualify from each of the conferences for the final 8 tournaments that will decide the 2024 champion. Meanwhile, the NBBF has reassured teams and officials of a well-organized Men's Premier League that would eventually produce a worthy champion that will go ahead to make Nigeria proud at the Continental Championship, the 2005 BAL. The Lagos State Sports Commission has reaffirmed its unwavering support to the Dolphin Swimming League as Season 6 of Nigeria's #1 schools tournament commenced over the weekend. Grange School Ikeja hosted the first leg of the new season, which attracted record entries as pupils and students of participating schools showcased their talents at the well-attended opening day on Saturday, October 19. While lauding the developmental initiative, Director of School Sports, Lagos State Sports Commission, Dr. Oluyomi Oluwasomi, commended organizers for sustaining the league, which started 6 years ago. Oluwasomi added that the Lagos State Sports Commission is delighted to back the initiative through collaboration of the organizers and the Lagos State Swimming Association and remains committed to the growth of the initiative. She noted that the competition has produced swimmers that made Lagos proud at major championships, including the 2024 National Youth Games held last month in Asaba, Delta State. Oluwasomi revealed that athletes who represented the state at the games accounted for Team Lagos's impressive performance in the swimming event.
I'm glad to tell you that the swimming team gave us 4 gold, 4 silver, and 2 bronze. And the striking thing is that all of these children, each of them have passed through this league. So this league is a platform whereby we can constantly discover talent that will be nurtured to stardom.
Oluwasomi was particularly thrilled that the organizers included elementary category for pupils of competing schools. She emphasized the importance of early exposure for participants at the formative stage, which makes it possible to create desired impact and catch them young.
Everything about this program is exciting, especially when I see the toddlers, the 4-year-old, 5-year-old, and that is the best time to start. And I'm glad that all the categories are carried along from the cadet to the middle one, and of course the under 15. This is a very good initiative.
Organized by Dynas Pro Sports Promotions in collaboration with Advanta Interactive, the Dolphin Swimming League enjoyed technical support from the Nigeria Aquatic Federation. Chairman Technical Committee, Nigeria Aquatic Federation, Reverend Samuel Jasimio, said increased number of participating schools showed continued progress and heights the initiative has attained, stating that the Federation will continue to give swimmers from the league a platform to compete at international competitions.
It has been wonderful and is great because swimmers gotten from here have represented Nigeria. Some represented Nigeria, some are still representing Nigeria, and we are still going to find more talent discovered by the technical input of the Nigerian Aquatics Federation in this competition.
The Nigeria's Premier School Swimming Tournament is endorsed by the Nigeria Olympic Committee and the Nigeria School Sport Federation. No fewer than 12 schools are competing in the ongoing season, which will be used to select the Nigerian contingent for the 2025 International School Sports Federation in Belgrade, Serbia.
On the foreign scene, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan says at least 4 people have been killed and 14 others wounded in an attack on the headquarters of Turkey's aerospace and defense company, Turkish Aerospace Industries, TUSAS, near the capital, Ankara. Erdogan, who was holding talks in Russia with Vladimir Putin at the time of the attack, confirmed the toll and condemned what he said was a heinous terrorist attack. Turkish Interior Minister Ali Yerlikaya stated that 2 terrorists were neutralized in the incident at the headquarters of the state-run firm. Ankara Mayor Mansur Yavaş says he was saddened by the hit on TUSAS, a major defense company, while Turkish Justice Minister Yilmaz Tonk added that an investigation has been launched into the attack. TUSAS was incorporated into Turkey's Ministry of Industry and Technology in 1973 in order to reduce foreign dependence of the country's defense industry. Let's find out what tomorrow's weather will look like. And just before we go, a recap of our top stories. President Bola Tinubu reshuffled 10 ministers, scrapped 2 ministries, and merged regional commissions. The Senate has called for a national summit to address growing concerns of out-of-school children across the country. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has charged members of the state executive to leverage on technology and data in project management to transform governance in Lagos. On the foreign scene, we told you that at least 4 people have been killed in an attack on an aerospace firm near Turkey's Ankara. For more news, connect with Lagos Television on these social media platforms. And just before we go, here are some thoughts. The strongest action for a woman is to love herself, be herself, and shine amongst those who never believed she could. In case of emergencies, please call 767 or 112. We thank you so much for watching. Have a very fantastic night rest. I am Tinuke Oloruntoyin Folami.